So here is the recipe we're making today. This is my grandmother's crunchy cheddar chicken bake with a sauce, and it's made with a canned soup and some sour cream and a little bit of parsley. And I'm serving it up with steamed broccoli. If you want to see how to make it, just keep watching. So let me show you what you're going to need to make my Grandma Mary's crunchy cheddar chicken bake. It's always hard for me to remember exactly how to say it. You're going to need some chicken breast tenderloins, and you're going to need about 2 pounds. This is 1.61 pounds. You can use a breast, but just cut it up in strips. You're going to need about 2 sleeves of the Ritz crackers. They were on sale this week at my local grocery, so I lucked out on those. You're going to need a half a cup of milk, about 3 cups cheddar cheese shredded, so I got my shredder out. And you're going to need a little bit of either fresh parsley or dried parsley. You're also going to need a half teaspoon of salt and pepper. I have them in these really cute little miniature mason jars because they work so good. And that is it for the chicken. Now, the sauce we'll make on the stove, we'll use 1 can of cream of chicken. We will also use 2 tablespoons sour cream and 2 tablespoons butter. So the first thing we're going to do is get the chicken going and get it in a 400-degree preheated oven. So get your oven set. You're going to need 3 different dishes, 1 for the milk, 1 for the crackers, and 1 for the cheese. You're also going to need a casserole and some type of casserole dish, and you're going to want some sprayed so you can spray it. And we're going to get started making these. Okay, so I'm going to take off my jewelry so it doesn't get messy every time I deal with crackers and milk and, you know, cheese. I just get really messy and I don't want it in my rings. So I went ahead and beat up the crackers with a rolling pin. Just squish them with your hands, beat them up, get them all broke up, and put them in a bowl. You can break up the bigger pieces by hand. Be easy because you can bust the bags and make a big mess. Right? Okay, we're going to set that aside. We're going to pour our milk in another bowl. And now I'm going to grate the cheese. I'm using sharp cheddar because I really want to taste the cheddar cheese. And I'm picky about cheese. My oven's preheated. I usually don't like melted cheese, especially on breakfast items, but this is so good, you might never want fried chicken again. And, you know, most of the time, my friends who are sending me emails about recipes, they're wanting more chicken recipes. That is what they want. And this is a really good one. I can't take credit. My Grandma Mary made this at church for like crowds of people. I remember it very distinctly, and I got the recipe from her a few years ago, and my family absolutely loves it. So you're just going to want to grate that cheese. You can buy already grated, but the truth is that nothing's going to taste as good as buying a block of cheese and grating it yourself. So consider that when buying it. But to save time, you can absolutely go ahead and buy the pre-grated. My grater broke. I have a whole bunch of them, but this is still one of my favorites for cheese. So I just keep it and use it as a hand grater. There we go. I'm just going to kind of set it across. That probably will be easier. Be careful with your fingers. I don't want to grate one of those. You're going to want about 3 cups. That's probably most of this. I'm going to kind of hurry through it. so I got about 3 cups. I have a little bit more if I need a little bit more. With the cracker crumbs, you're going to add your salt and pepper. I'm using a 1/2 teaspoon of each. I'm just going to kind of mix it up. Break up those bigger pieces. And then I am going to take my big 9x12 pan, and I'm just going to spray it really well so nothing sticks. There we go. And we're going to set that kind of out of the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to start a little assembly line for the chicken. Now I have some paper towels over here. I don't like touching chicken a lot, but the order it's going to go in is milk, cheese, breadcrumbs. Okay, so I have the tenderloins into the milk, into the cheese. Press that cheese down on it really well. Just get it on there. It's not that easy. You really have to press the cheese on there. Get it to stick. And then you're going to grab it and go right into the breadcrumbs and press the breadcrumbs right into it. And into the casserole it goes. So we're going to repeat that with all of these. So I've washed my hands. My chicken tenders are ready to go. I've already diced up my parsley, but if you have dry parsley, that works too. Sprinkle it over your chicken. I remember my grandma making this for like 200 people. I find that when you're putting cheese on the chicken, it doesn't stick that well. So I like smudge it in with my fingers on one side, flip that one side into the breadcrumbs, and they seem to stay better. Now I'm going to cover this with aluminum foil. I'm going to bake it in a 400-degree oven for about 35 minutes till it's nice, brown, and bubbly. And I'll show you how to make the sauce next. The sauce couldn't be simpler, so I'm going to take 1 can of the cream of chicken, put it right into a little pot. Just stir it around, break it up a little bit, and it's over a medium heat. Then we're going to take 2 tablespoons of sour cream. I'm just kind of doing them big, it doesn't really matter. 1, 2, stir that in, get it off your spoon. Now you're going to add 2 tablespoons of butter. This is softened, but it doesn't matter. In it goes. We're going to mix that up and just let it warm. I'm also going to add some more fresh parsley from my herb garden, but dried would work too. And just stir that in. You can use a whisk for this, but you don't have to. And I'm just going to stir it and let it get nice and hot over medium heat. And we'll serve it right over that chicken. And I'll also show you how I serve the chicken up. So this is how the chicken will look when it's done. You can see it's browned. And now we're going to serve it up. So here is how I like to serve it up. This is the crunchy cheddar chicken bake with the sauce made out of the soup and the parsley and the butter and sour cream. I serve it up with some steamed broccoli, but it is really, really good. Again, my grandmother loved making this. This was something she could feed a crowd very easily. I guess the most thing would be getting the chicken coated. That would take up the most time. But it's super easy to make. I hope you try it. Let me know in the comments below if you make it and what your family thinks. The recipe is in the down bar, and you can always go to my blog at kjaggers.com and find the recipe there under recipes in the tabs. Thanks again for watching. I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye-bye.